Okay, so now I've drawn this kind of rectangular shape. This is going to be our plant cell. And the first thing I want you to notice is that a plant cell is different shape than an animal cell. It's going to be boxier in nature, and these cells are more rigid, which is why animals, as a rule, can move around and plants, as a rule, cannot. So we'll label this our plant cell. Now, there are going to be lots of similarities that we're going to see between the plant and animal cell. The first thing being that plant cells also have a nucleus. So I'm going to draw in the center here, just like in our other one, the nucleus. And within that nucleus, again, we have a nucleolus. And I'm going to try and use the same colors so we can establish the same kind of, for memory's sake. And the nucleolus, again, is responsible for housing the cell's DNA. Okay. Again, we have a nuclear membrane around our nucleus, which I'll kind of get in there. And again, it's going to be a barrier. The nucleus holds lots of important information in the form of DNA, and so the plant cell wants to make sure that it is extra protected. All right, so in addition to these similarities, there are also organelles floating around within the cytoplasm. So let's go ahead and label the cytoplasm. Put some cytoplasm out here. I did it again in gray. Now, one thing that's different with plant cells and animal cells is the vacuole. In plant cells, there is one rather large vacuole. And this vacuole, again, serves the same purpose. It's for storage. But it's bigger. An animal cell is going to have lots of little vacuoles. In this case, the plant cell just has one large vacuole. All right. They also have mitochondria. So I'll attempt my mitochondria drawings here. And again, mitochondria are responsible for energy in the cell. They are the powerhouses of the cell. There is an organelle within the plant cell that animal cells don't have. There are actually two. And the first one is a chloroplast. I'm going to make this chloroplast in green. Again, these are similar to the mitochondria in that they have a double membrane, and I made them green because they are filled with chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment that actually makes most plants green. This is where photosynthesis occurs. So I'm going to label this guy over here a chloroplast, and this is where photosynthesis occurs, or food production. Happens in a plant cell. So it produces the food there, and then the mitochondria is able to turn that food into energy, that glucose into energy. All right, we do have a couple of membranes around this particular cell. So I'll use purple this time. All right, so we have a cell membrane around our cell, and it serves the same purpose that it does in all cells. It acts as a barrier. It allows some parts of some necessary nutrients in, keeps things that don't need to be in there out. Let's put cell membrane. Move it up a little bit. And it's a barrier. And the second thing that plants have that animal cells do not is something called a cell wall. This cell wall offers another layer of protection as well as structure. So I'm going to draw my cell wall. I'm going to keep it green because it's unique to plants. And it is on the outside of the cell membrane. And it goes all the way around. And this is, as I said, it provides protection, but it also provides structure. So green, cell wall, structure. It's rigid, so it doesn't allow plant cells to move near as readily as animal cells do. Okay, so that's our outside. Have that labeled. The last things that we need to label are those parts, again, that are part of both plant and animal cells. The first one being the ER, or the endoplasmic reticulum. Again, I'll draw that on the side of the nucleus here. So we've got our smooth ER and our rough ER, which is responsible for making proteins. Our rough ER, and then our smooth ER makes lipids or fats. Now, remember the difference between rough ER and smooth ER is the presence of those ribosomes. So I'm going to put ribosomes on our rough ER. I'm also going to put groups of ribosomes out in the cytoplasm. They are also responsible for protein synthesis. And the last thing that I need to add is, again, our Golgi body. That's going to be kind of a folded sort of organelle within the cell that again helps transport proteins. So come down here. Okay. So the two things that a plant cell has that an animal cell does not is a cell wall and chloroplasts. And here we have our plant cell.